So, the next step of the process is to take the artwork, import it into something that can handle nice rasterized images. And in this case, I'm just going to auto crop, and I'm going to make sure I keep the scale right, so the pixel aspect ratio, DPI, whatever, so that it still shows up as 2 inches by 2 inches. And I'm just going to save this. And actually, forgot to do one thing first. You actually have to flip the images, since we're going to be printing this out on toner transfer paper, and we're going to be flipping it around the other way. So I'm going to flip it first, flip the front side, and I'm going to flip the back side. Of course, I'm going to crop it as well. And image, transform, flip horizontally. I'm going to save that as the back side. Then, what I have is I have a sheet of paper here, and this is going to be what I actually print out on the toner transfer. And because inevitably you make lots of errors whenever you do this kind of thing, I'm going to have 2 copies of this particular piece of artwork. And then that way, when they inevitably, don't work, I'm going to be able to immediately print out another one. So I always do just a test printing. That's the test printing right there. Just has all of the different parts I'm going to be printing with, and that's it. So I can also make sure that when I cut out my piece of toner transfer paper, that it fits conveniently right over top of it if I center it. That way I can be sure that I'm not going to be printing off of the page. And now we have the reversed images on the toner transfer paper itself. So the next part of this, right now, we're cutting out the template paper. So this is just regular white printer paper, so that we can cut our copper piece to the right shape. And we're going to use this as kind of our guide to show us how to cut the copper piece. And next we just start cutting out the ones on the actual pulsar paper. These are what we're going to be attaching to the copper sheet. So now what we have is we have the copper and we have the template, and I can just hold the template right here over the copper, and I can just use a pair of tin snips right here and cut the copper to the appropriate size. Okay, now we have the sheet of copper. So this copper is actually pretty gnarly, kind of corroded over time, but that's just because it's been sitting around for probably 20 years. All you have to do is just sand it some. In this case I do it under running water, and it just shines like it was new. So now we have the piece of copper out right here, and I'm just drying it off some, trying to straighten it up. Little edges there that are not quite straight, but trying to keep them straight. And then all I gotta do is just put it on the toner transfer paper here. Try to keep it centered as best as I can. Also, I gotta make sure that the right side is up. Like that. Now that I have this little stack going here, so I got some dust in there. Much better. So I have this little stack. Just put it through. And we'll see it on the other side. I've gotten this out the back. I've run it through 4 times. Now time to go over to the sink. Just going to lightly run water over it. And it's important to note that I'm actually getting it on the bottom as well, not just on the top here. All over. I'm going to let it soak like this for just a couple more seconds, and the pieces should begin to just fall off. There, so we have the back side. See if the front fared as well. And there's our picture of smoothie. So what I'm going to start now is I'm going to start drawing water over the sink to get it warm, draw the warm water in. It's actually kind of hot, but it's still under kind of a critical temperature for the ferric chloride, so I don't feel comfortable heating it up in any kind of like straight up heater or anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the sink with hot water, and I'm going to put the ferric chloride back into it. So while that's going, I'm going to pour the ferric chloride into the dish here. Then, kind of plug the drain. Also, some of you guys might have noticed that I'm wearing much more safety gear than I was before. That's after a couple times of getting the ferric chloride on your skin and not even noticing it and seeing it's kind of stained it. I'm a little bit scared of it now, so I've chosen to take certain precautions. So as you can see here, the water is almost up to the level that will mostly allow the bath to float in it. So now I'm going to take the ferric chloride, put it in there. Now the ferric chloride's getting very warm, and that's going to help accelerate the etching process. So here we have the one circuit board that we're printing, and we have the smoothie Father's birthday gift. So I'll place that in here as well. And so what I'm going to do is now put on the face mask. And I'm going to put these to the bottom. I'm going to sit here rocking it back and forth until I feel comfortable that the one side of the smoothie's done and the PCB is etched through. We put the smoothie and we've been letting them sit in there a little while, so now it's back on the back. So I'm going to take the back out. It was getting a little thin, so I felt might be time to just get it out. I'm going to rub it to see how it looks. You can actually see the where the toner is. It's raised way off the surface. And on the back it's less pronounced because we've been running the back less. But it's good enough. So now what we're going to do is take this and pat it down, just like we did the circuit board. And then we're going to run it under the water. And then, next step is we get some sandpaper, and we start sanding off all of the toner.